Good afternoon.
Whatever it is. I'm Lynn Rhodes, and I'm co-founder and executive director of Authoring Action.
I'm the co-founder and artistic director of Authoring Action.
And we are thrilled to be a program partner with Senior Services Intergenerational Center for Arts and Wellness. It's been an amazing collaboration. Authoring Action was founded almost 24 years ago to develop teen authors, and we've been doing that ever since. We've added adult authors, in various forms about 3 years ago. So we're very excited for this collaboration with these amazing authors here. One person whose piece will be done by 3 people later in the engagement is by Elmer Amaya. He's graduating from Wake Forest Divinity School this afternoon and couldn't be with us. So, but you will hear his piece. It's beautiful, as are all of them.
I wish you knew. I wish you knew that at my youthful age, I'm Nathan Ross Freeman, and I have a grandson, Nathan Ross Freeman III, and he can call me in the present tense. Ladies and gentlemen, I wish you knew.
Program with all the names of our authors. May Rodney, Wanda Stark, May French, Tamara Stokes, Kelly Abbey, Eric Fly, and Joey Kirkman.
I came to Authoring Action with an open but clogged mind. My weight was finishing a script that had been in my computer for 2 years. I preferred to be in my office at my computer, staring at a flashing blue screen, waiting for novel ideas to float from my mind to the page. Feeling like a somewhat accomplished woman after the script was securely saved in my computer, I realized that an editor and a proofreader were necessary to make a readable and quality script. I searched past and present contacts to find the expertise needed. With such a clogged mind, how could I embrace and welcome the Authoring Action moment? Work was waiting in my peaceful office. I erased my anxiety and stepped into the moment in the Authoring Action war room. I was lost and confused, often with the leader's expectations and ideas. Where was my editor and proofreader when I needed them? I needed their help to follow a teacher's guidelines. My support team couldn't save me. In the end, I loosened up and followed my teacher's explanations. My mind was stretched and stimulated to accept his unique and mind-boggling directions. I had to change my thought pattern to satisfy his expectations. As the time together came to an end, the teacher was bold enough to ask me, did I embrace the moment and appreciate the writing process? Yes.
A mother's words linger long after she's gone. You sure are a peculiar child. Look at you walking around looking like a little wooden doll. You make me sick. with your illegitimate self. You know I beat you because I love you. No one will ever marry you. You're going to be an old maid. You killed your father. You worried him to death. A mother's words linger long after she's gone. White people might think they're better than black folk, but they're not. Nobody's better than anybody. We're all God's children. If you work hard, you can be anything you want to be. I don't care what they say. You walk in that television station like you own it. You know your mother loves you. A mother's words linger long after she's gone.
Hello? Goodbye. Hello to the past of me. Before you faced judgment, before you could be anything else, I fall asleep in the bed of you. Secret girl crushes made my pillow, and the hope of releasing the truth tucked me in. Only when I was alone was I myself. How do I live with the contradiction? I love being with people, but people don't love being with... What am I saying? People do love being with a version of Joey. Funny, confident, straight. I can let a little bit of myself out, right? I can tell one person, right? Eyes load the barrel. Confused, scared, hateful eyes cock the gun. And then the shot. I heard you're a homosexual. The tide goes out and takes you away. I won't see you for a while. I'll be here fighting for both of us by myself. Why is it called straight? Doesn't everyone want to bend?
The mark of conception was a flood of inspiration. This rose bloomed into a world where both beauty and thorns were necessary. But what if I renounced both? No church, no school, no book, no dogma could teach me the lessons that moments have. Moments are irrevocable blips in time. They can't be unchanged, yet they change everything. Those choices upon which chance and fate come to play. Some choices I was afforded to make, and some were made for me. Either way, they are a rock that was thrown into a placid pond, rippling out, changing the course of the water. Those waves of turmoil crashed into me, for I realized as a young girl that I was divergent from those around me. I was unusual, complex, sensitive, an old soul, and queer in every sense of the word, feeling the weight and the freedom of never being able to fit in. The ball in my chest burns with ferocity, zeal, and elation. This passion is an animal, a beast, a force to propel me into a dance of sky and earth, moon and sun, vibrancy and simplicity. There is no time to be stoic in this dichotomy, for the healing is in the reckoning.
Hello. Goodbye. And goodbye to what's to come. I am here. You violate me. I am not human. You are that damn mirror reverting who I am to who you want me to be. You are the stoplight. You are the red fist. It's painful, I scream. You don't care. It hurts, I yell. You can't hear. I'm just a stupid, angry mouse while you get to be the independent cat. How is that fair? We are both the same, separated by time only. We are both flashes of light, but only you am here. My glass hands may be shaky and broken by the likes of you, but hey, I can manage. I can still forge a fist. I bathe in frustration. My paintbrush is thick with anger. Are you getting nervous? You should be, because there is a spark still left in me. Let me comfort while I am here. Let me inspire while I am here. Let me befriend. I have witnessed your flames burn me like salt on an ice cube, but I am still here.
I dip into the well, for I know that the journey down the dark tunnel will lead me to the life-bearing water. To know thyself, I must hold on to the rope for support as I descend. I wonder, is there an end to this abyss? I reach the water's surface, revealing my reflection. The mirror of who I am is where I dive into me. Shedding the parts that no longer serve me, I subdue them and watch them wither into life's decay. I plant the seeds, the new possibilities deep into the earth. I recognize that nourishment and growth are essential to bloom into something spectacular. I turn to my guitar, my solace. The very thing that uplifts me also grounds me. The strings drip with pieces of my soul and transmutes them through the melody, casting off a vibration that radiates to the surrounding souls, reverbing change, fostering evolution.
Trees have existed on this planet for approximately 420 million years. Anatomically modern humans have existed for 300,000 years, roughly 0.07% of that time. They were here before us, and they will be here long after we're gone. That clock hurls us away from hello and towards goodbye, and we grasp at it as if we can stop it. It laughs. It controls all of us, you and me both, yet here you are, imitating its power, frying my life in your oil. How sad. The tide comes back in, carrying what's left of who I was, and this time it is eyes that bring her back to me. Loving, understanding eyes. Kind, open eyes. It's only when we embrace the ocean gently lapping at our toes that I know she never left. We are under attack, but the power of human connection dances across invisible borderlines of race, sexuality, age. It brings us home to ourselves again and again and again. Take a breath and let it go. Goodbye to the past and hello to today. Hello to you out there. Hello.
Hello.
We seem to have quite a bit in common.
We are the bearers of our own truth. Once we learn who we are, we can never go back. We continue the journey forward. Sometimes we dance, we trip, we tiptoe, we run, we crawl, we limp, we skip, we march. As long as we're carrying ourselves forward, we are making our unique mark in this world.
I knew in 5th grade I wanted to be a reporter, and I found my voice in a Baptist church. As co-chair of the deacon board and a Sunday school teacher, my dad spent more time in First Baptist than the preacher. And my mom wore many church hats: deaconess, president of the senior choir, chair of the Missionary Society. 4th Sunday was always Youth Sunday. Children sang in the ambassador choir, served as ushers and offering stewards, took turns reading scriptures and making announcements. I enjoyed all those things, but my favorite was welcoming visitors. I loved writing, coming up with creative ways to make people feel at home. The church folk, unlike my parents, were generous with praise. I craved the positive feedback, the loud amens, the approving nods, and the spirited applause. The pastor, Reverend Brown, was handsome, humble, and authentically kind. A father of 4, he delighted in interacting with kids at the church. One Sunday, after a particularly well-received welcome, he whispered in my ear, "You are very good. You're going to be somebody one day." Those are words I never forgot. The minister I looked up to saw something special in me. Be careful what you tell young people. They might believe you.
There is a difference and a sameness that Black families feel right now. We see a crisis coming. As we have in the past, we turn to the church where 2 generations ago, young Black folks created a different America. They read books, wrote papers, and gave speeches, and built bridges through their schooling. They walked many miles far from home in shoes that were given to them after the ones that they were wearing at first had worn out. With their hands, they created playgrounds of freedom to play in because reality was a different game. And then I came along, reading books, writing papers, and delivering speeches as a professor at Wake Forest University. My reality was allowed and encouraged by their hard work. And at times I was ashamed when I went to places where Black folks were in service and I was a client. But they told me to stand up straight and put a smile on my face, that they were proud to see me.
Black was the color of my world, my family, my school, my church. White people only appeared on television on shows like my favorite Leave It to Beaver or my dad's The Evening News. Sometimes the stories were scary. Young American and Vietnamese men killed in a faraway land, Black leaders and white politicians gunned down on American soil. Pay attention. This is important, my dad often told me. This is history. I adored my dad, his scent of steel and sweat from long hours at the shipyard, of sweet Old Spice cologne on a relaxing day at home. I loved how he smiled at me and how he listened to me, and I was listening to him. Pay attention. This is important. This is history. One day, I would be recording it.
And through it all, they were strong. They found and gave support at our home places. They served baked, grilled, and fried chicken so that bellies were filled in backyard gatherings across the country. Through fellowship, they stood strong. Well-dressed ministers preached, and first ladies smiled and shook hands. They covered them with prayer well beyond the church house. They thought that they had changed the world as we stepped forward. But the 80s followed the 60s, and we took steps back. Then came the 90s and 2000s that announced our presence when hip-hop took over. And then there was Barack Obama. But the rhythm of society changed again as the absurd criticism of a tan suit threw shade on the progress that we thought was permanent. The electronic age amplifies the same drumming of race that we hoped we would not hear again. And then there was and is Trump. It's not the same song, but it rhymes. It's certainly a melody that we've heard before.
There is a photo of my dad, my mom, and me standing on a manicured lawn at the University of Richmond. We have toured the campus of Rolling Hills, gazed at beautiful Gothic buildings, and the lake separating the men's and women's colleges. But there is something we have not seen. We're searching for something, asking the same question. Where are the Black people? The orientation session ends, and suddenly we spot 3 Black faces, a family in the crowd. We hurry over to greet them, but our excitement dims with every word they speak. They are Black, but they are not American. I am the only African American female in my class. There are only 3 in the entire school, and one is my roommate. She's a big sister guiding me through that awkward first year. The year being the only Black in every classroom, the only Black in a band that loves Dixie more than the school fight song, who cradles her flute in her lap as a Confederate flag-waving frat boy rides a horse around the stadium celebrating touchdowns made possible by Black bodies. I survived to see 6 Black females enroll the next year, a new record for the school. We bond in the college dining room over exquisite meals prepared by Black hands on tables covered in thick white cloth. We question why cooks and custodians are the only fully formed adults on campus who look like us.
Our focus on the past and future creates an ease because we struggle to slow down and focus on the here and now. How much do I have left? Where did it all go? Did I waste too much of it? I sometimes think to myself. I struggle to focus on the present because those anxieties overwhelm my mind like a freight train of music, loud and discordant. I'm reminded of how I traded the peaceful rumble of rollerblades for the never-ending chase of professional growth and the waspy ad agencies. I'm reminded of all the things I gave up because I convinced myself I didn't have enough time, or I just wasn't motivated enough. I miss the furious clickety-clack of computer keyboards at LAN parties and that exhilarating feeling of just wanting one more game. I miss the euphoria of sweaty concerts, goofy dances with friends after way too much to drink, and all the greasy food afterwards. I miss savory movie theater popcorn on school nights after a rough week of art school. I long for the nostalgia and excitement of a musty video store, the pitter-patter of feet in crowded malls, and late nights in the freezing, stinging cold with my telescope by the lake.
You know, life is interesting. When I was young, I couldn't wait until I got older. I wanted to get on with my life. I thought I knew what life was all about. The ironic thing with all of this is that most of us don't even understand what that means. Life. We focus on what we will be, where we will live, who we will marry, all of that. As you step into the river of life, you begin to realize things, i.e. the world, are not as we thought they were. We realize that our motions through this life are robotic and methodical, similar to a programmed machine on an assembly line.
You know, as I stand here in the present moment, I focus on that telescope. I remember many nights outside of that telescope, under the isolation of the stars, thinking about my future. Even now, I still do, but as an adult, that future is corrupted by thoughts of fear and loss. I try to run away from those interlopers in my mind, but the more I do, the more futile those attempts feel.
Now, I find that people tend to regulate their lives and their thoughts based on what they have observed from adults, from friends, from experiences, and social media. All the while not understanding that there is a vast, refreshing, caring world out there just beyond our reach. We believe that we can only get ahead and get more in this life by sweating and keeping our head in the fire, so to speak.
So many times, my thoughts of past and future combine into a flurry of anxiety ripping through my mind like a torrent. It's just all too much to take. I close my eyes, I take a deep breath, then I release. Then all at once, it's quiet. It's in those moments that I realize the only true peace, the only true way to be at peace is to be in the present. I can always be reminded of the past and imagine a future, but the only thing that is real, the only thing that is tangible is this exact moment. The only thing that truly enriches us is not what you did, not what you're going to do, but what you do right now.
When we focus our thoughts on what we desire most in life, it eradicates the sterile, mundane, life-track journey that we find ourselves on, only to regret not accomplishing the things we always wanted to do as our clock winds down. As a young girl, I spent a lot of time in nature, attending Girl Scout camps and learning about the environment, but I didn't communicate with nature. As I have matured, I appreciate the lessons that nature grants me on a daily basis. She provides me with a new way to communicate and synchronizes my heartbeat with the natural ebb and flow of the ever-emoting landscapes of my life. The sounds of a babbling brook near my campsite, the exhilarating smell of trees in the springtime after a rainfall, and the feel of sand in my toes as I walk along the beach. Sunshine provides us with nurturance and protection and support, if only we take the time to connect with nature. Plug into the expansiveness of creativity that is housed within each and every single one of us.
Here, present, in a group of friends, our time passes. Our conversations feel like a healing process that ends eternity. Here, once that's been said in this poem, what is eternity? Is it a movement or something that lasts forever? Well, eternity, from my point of view, is a constant process of something that never stops growing. The eternal constant death and rebirth of trees are an example. The trees lose their leaves when winter comes and there is no more heat. Everything seems as if there is no more life. Everything feels empty. The clock hands start moving too slowly.
Time passes and spring comes. The clear water starts flowing and the green color starts producing a sense of life. The leaves rejoice with the wind and dance with it. The trees stand still and start to heal from their winter's wound. While they absorb the soil nutrients, they look to the clouds peacefully and happily. They enjoy their existence.
As I write this poem in this notebook, I want to express all the joy and happiness of picturing the dance of the leaves with the wind. Life never stops. Life continues. As we breathe and our lungs fill with air, we can always dance as the leaves or stand still as the trees, healing and admiring the beauty of the blue clouds.
Did you ever notice that a camera captures things that the photographer never realized existed in the photograph when the photograph was originally taken? It's quite amusing, actually, to look in the background of pictures and notice the photobomb. Have you ever thumbed through pictures of yourself and wondered what the reflection of you was thinking and feeling in that moment? Who was that picture? Who was that person in that picture? Or perhaps you stumbled upon an artifact that contained authentic correspondence in your handwriting, only to notice the not so graceful pen strokes on the paper. What does the script reveal about the inscriber when making those accurate or not so accurate strokes? What I have come to learn is that I have the opportunity to create the life I love when I allow myself to look beyond the smiling faces captured in a picture. When I attune my ear to the pitch pipe of the universe, I can differentiate the voice of spirit, just as I can discern the sound of crunching snow, the rain on my tent, or popcorn being cooked. It takes time to adjust to the demands of life, but I guarantee it will be a lot easier if you lean in and capture the feedback that is being transmitted to you in the little things. Like reading a book to your mother when she is unable to do it for herself. Or playing fetch with a pet in the park. Savor those moments before they tick away. We are the world tapestry, each individual the color of your rainbow hues and diversity is where we gather our strength, elevating each other in good company, where everyone can be free. So we show up, we stand for our need, and you are me. We are united in our humanity. Deep gratitude for the open mind, recognizes the enormity of our experiences, our relationships, or our cultures, our beliefs. For us now and after us, 'cause now it's a combination of the moments of life, timeless, powerful, life altering, life altering. Oh, life altering.
reflected on this experience. And I am still reflecting on the experience. I am going to rewrite my life story, and especially the time that I spent with my mom in Durham. I will think about the historical landmarks that changed America. I'm not sure whether they changed me or not, but I'm going to reflect. And that new narrative will be different.